Are short stories worth the effort? That is the question I am attempting to answer today. So, welcome. My name is Gemma. If you've been here before, you will know I do not have the best track record with short stories. I really struggle to get into them. I definitely am the kind of person who prefers a chunky book over a shorter book. However, I wanted to really give short stories a go. So I decided to read a collection that I was very much interested in and see if they could change my mind. So I picked up the Black Stars collection, which is a series of short sci-fi stories written by very popular Black authors. A lot of these authors are pretty high up my hit list if I haven't already read and enjoyed them. And I thought, if any authors are going to change my mind, these are pretty likely to. So this is an Amazon series. It's available on Kindle Unlimited, both the ebooks and the audiobooks. So I read all 6 that are in the collection, and I thought we would run through them from my least favourite to my favourite and see if my opinion has been changed. So at number 6 we have 2043, A Mermaid I Should Turn to Be by Nisi Shawl. This follows a group of people who are in a band. They are African descendants, and all African descendants in the States have been allocated a plot of land, but that plot of land is under the sea, and so to access it they have to be genetically modified, and there is still a lot of white supremacy about, which is not very sympathetic of the Black population being entitled to these genetic modifications to let them live underwater, even though it's required to live underwater. The premise, excellent. The problem that I had with this is it tried to squeeze this whole thing into like 30 pages, and I had no idea what was going on at all. I literally had to go back and reread the blurb before this video to remind me what it was about, because I wasn't following any of it. 2 stars. In 5th place we have Clapback by Nalo Hopkinson. So in this one we are following a fashion designer who has created this garment that has special technology in it which allows you to access certain memories. There's also weird little like artifacts that have some sort of life in them. I really couldn't tell you any more than that, because this, similar to the last one, I didn't really follow it at all. It made not a lot of sense to me. I thought I was getting something and then I wasn't, and then it was over. 2 stars. In 4th position we've got We Travel The Spaceways by Victor Lavalle. This is set in New York City, and we're following a homeless person who talks to condiments. So he has like a cherry Coke and other drinks that he talks to, and they talk to him. And is he crazy, or is something else going on here? Okay, fine. That part of it was okay. And then he meets a woman in McDonald's who is a trans woman, and it was just really random. I don't know why that was just randomly thrown in. He met her and then he found out that she was trans because she wouldn't go to church, and then she left again. It had no bearing on the story. It was really bizarre, and it irritated me. It was like, yeah, it was in there for the sake of being LGBTQ rep, in my opinion. I gave it 3 stars because at least I had an idea of what was going on in this one as opposed to the other 2, but meh. In third place, we have The Visit by Chimamanda Ngozi Adiche. I read Americana by this author last year and very much enjoyed it, and I am really keen to get to some more of her long form novels. In her short story, The Visit, we are in a matriarchal society where men basically aren't allowed to wank because it's seen as they're wasting sperm. Quite liked the idea of it. And the women very much go out to work and the men stay at home and do as they're told. And then one day a friend of his rocks up and convinces him to go clubbing without his wife. And that's pretty much the story. Again, this was one of those where it started strong. I started to get invested in what was happening, and then it was over and nothing had happened. So I gave it 3 stars. Like I said, I really like the setup of this, but it just didn't go anywhere. In second place, we have The Black Pages by Nnedi Okorafor. And in this, we are in Mali and Timbuktu. It sort of takes place in that vague area. And we follow sort of 2 characters. We see effectively a genie being released from a burnt library, and then we follow a young man who has something to do with this genie. We're not really quite sure what's going on. He's going home. He's been in America and he's travelling home, and there is an Al-Qaeda attack happening when he returns. I liked the way it sort of blended some fantastical elements with realistic political elements. I quite liked that mix. And I did feel like the story sort of progressed and we got to know, I think because there was just this central main character plus the genie character, it kind of, you felt more in a smaller bubble, so it felt fuller. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I gave this one 4 stars, but this was definitely one of the better ones of the collection. But a similar critique really to the last one. It kind of ended at a point where in a standard novel would be the point where it started to get interesting. So yeah. And then in top space we have These Alien Skies by C.T. Rwizi. And in this we're following 2 women who are on a starship. They've been sent to do some reconnaissance or something, and they get into a bit of trouble and end up stranded on an alien island. On this island they find a whole population of people who have come from Africa many years before and have chosen basically not to get involved with the current political space situation. Obviously the problem that you have with short stories is none of this stuff is really explained in detail. It's just referred to, so you don't get a real sense of what's going on. But what I really loved was the relationship between these 2 characters that got stranded and how that was portrayed. And it really was more of a character focused short story rather than based on plot, which I think worked for me because there isn't enough time for plot in 30 pages. So it needs to be about the characters. And I think that is really my takeaway from this whole exercise. Firstly, generally, no, I do not like short stories. I probably will not bother with them again unless it's something that gets really rave reviews and is character focused, because I think if it's based on character then I can get on board with that. If it's based on plot, I'm never gonna enjoy it because it's just not enough. I need more. I need more background. I need more development than 30 pages can give me. So yeah, overall my experiment was a failure. Well, it's not really a failure because I discovered that in fact I'm right and short stories are not my jam. But yeah, let me know if you know of any real character based short stories that you would recommend. Those I would like to give a go, or if you completely disagree with me and think that short stories are fabulous and I am a Luddite. So yeah, thanks very much guys. I'll see you very soon with another one.